It was working last time. There we go. Try that.
Why is this acting so crazy on that thing?
Okay. It looks like we have sound. Yay, sorry guys. All right, back to conversation. Sorry about that. So, again, I'm going to be making a bunch of carrots. It's working. Yep. Okay. I could see my things start jumping. So, yay, we're working. So, a little bit of carrots. I know it's hard to see, so this is the template. I included the template link for you guys. So you can get the SVG file of it, or you can also get the JPEG version as well to print. Paint we're using white and black. I'm trying to remember where I was when I realized I didn't have no sound. I might use the bittersweet orange. It's a little bit darker of an orange. I'm kind of wanting to go a little bit more bright. Pumpkin, but I was thinking we might dull this down a little bit and add some white with it too, just to give some shading. And then these greens, we'll see. There's palomino, there is parsley, and electric lime. So we've got those. I do got some glitter and everything else. Hey Trish, how are you? Yep, tell IT guy to get on it. Yep, totally did. Brian! Okay, he's gonna now think I'm yelling at him again. So anyways, here's this. This was put on the laser. We have not got the laser up and started yet. Brian is missing a few screws, so we've got to go get some, but hopefully we will have a new design soon. This was from before, but this was on my laser. Okay, let me flip you guys to overhead. I did zoom in a little bit, so hopefully we can get better picture. And I think what I want to do is maybe do this one the darker orange and then do these two the lighter. I don't know. We're having fun. Okay, so with that, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm losing my mind today. Okay, pumpkin. I tell you, it's waking up so dang early. Take those girls to school. It's killing me. We had to be out the door by 7 o'clock because it's about a 20-minute drive to get them to school. So it is kicking my trash. Okay, so I've got the pumpkin orange right now. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to kind of make, I over exaggerated when I was drawing this, the pumpkin, like, pumpkin, oh my gosh, the carrot bumps on it. So remember how I told you guys before, it's best to kind of do your outline first, and then you can paint like a crazy person in the inside. Same thing goes here. And you also can smooth out your paint. Orange is also one of those colors that may go on when you paint it. It may paint a little splotchy. And then you get that second coat on and it looks great. So just a little FYI. So we're just smoothing this out. The brush that I'm using is a half angle brush. Hey Carol, hey Nancy. I hope you guys are all doing good. I kind of feel like I've recovered from the retreat, maybe just a little. Recovering from the move, I'm not even going to comment on that one. It's a work in progress, I think, every day. Me and Brian did go for a walk though today, so that felt wonderful. Oh, no wonder why that looked weird. Okay. There we go. Okay, two more little bumps to go here. So I'm just using the brush and curving it as I go. If you can see here, we're gonna curve again. I'm really letting my fingers and my forearm do the work. I'm really not using my wrist that much when I am doing the smooth areas. Okay. And one more right here. There we go. Okay. So I want to kind of show you guys what I'm meaning by the blotchy, because I know that a lot of people were kind of struggling, but you can kind of see right there. Can you see how it's kind of blotchy in spots? We're going to let that dry. And now I was noticing when we were doing the retreat, a lot of people were seeing this blotchy and then they wanted to hurry and put the paint on. What you're going to do is you're going to end up causing more of a hassle for yourself, because you're going to be pulling up your paint and then it's going to get even more splotchy. So just let it dry, and then we can move on to the next, further along. What I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and cheat just a little bit. I've got the heat gun here. We're going to go ahead and just heat gun this up. And then we're going to use some white and lighten the other two carrots. Whoop. My finger hit the wrong way. Now remember, with the heat gun, we always want to kind of go slow on that slow setting and work fast, not hitting one spot too long, because it will make your paint bubble. Now what I'm showing you now, if you guys can see the splotchiness, that's totally normal sometimes. We're going to go ahead and add that second coat. And I feel like with the second coat, you don't have to be as perfect, because your edges, you usually load your edges a little bit more with paint, so it doesn't usually need as much paint. So I took out one of my slants in my table. I was hoping to give you guys a better, closer view of it. I'm hoping that is working. Well, guys, let me know if you have any questions while you yourselves are painting or getting interested in painting or anything like that. I believe that the ladies told me that they had a blast painting at the retreat. So I'm hoping that we got some more interest in having fun and trying this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm just going to kind of add an equal part of white. And I'm just going to grab one of the handy dandy chopsticks that I keep from the Chinese restaurants. They make excellent paint stirrers. Okay, this is a little bit more light than my liking, so we're going to go ahead and just darken this up just a little bit. Oh, yeah, okay. I thought for some reason that I might have grabbed the other orange, but I didn't. Okay, let's see. Kind of liking that, just maybe a little bit darker. Added too much white. But if you don't have the paint color that you like, you guys you can always play with your paint and get that color that you want. Yep, this is the color I was kind of going for. Okay. All right, let me get this 1/2 inch angle brush again. Just cleaning my brush real quick here. All right. Yep, I'm loving that color with it. This is also a great way to know that your oranges are going to kind of be that same palette because you're using that same orange for your color. So if you have a hard time with color palette matching, this is a great way to darken it up or to lighten it just a little bit so you still have that same palette combo that you're looking for. And if those of you that went to the retreat, the color wheel will also show you that exact same thing of how to add different colors to make it the way you wanted it. So I'm just kind of going around our edge here of the middle that we did. Now if we get a little bit off, it's okay. We can just come back in with the detail line and it will clean everything up. We don't always have to be super, super perfect. I know people think that with painting, but you really don't. I used to fret about my imperfections all the time, and it ended up that nobody even noticed at all. I'd have to point it out, and even then they'd be like, I don't see what you're talking about. Okay, so I'm just painting the edge of this. I could leave it blank, but you guys, I'm a little bit more of a messy painter, especially when I'm putting that primer on. So I still just paint my edges. Just give it one little coat. Okay, so you can see how cute that looks already. We're gonna go over onto this side. All right. Let's see how my wrist wants to behave. It's been a while since I've really done some painting, so we should be good. Okay. So I'm just going to come in here, loaded up that angle brush. We're getting to that corner, starting again. Same thing here. I'm going to kind of barely push in that corner where we were. I'm going to stop and push this way. This is going to cause it so that we don't get into that corner and get a big glob of paint that we've got to smooth out. It will also help you keep that sharp line that you're looking for. Okay, so once again, we're going to go right here. Go back this way. My brush isn't loaded enough. Sorry guys, my dogs are barking. Okay. And smooth that out. Am I missing comments? Nope, okay. Same thing again. So right here where we get, we're just going to move that out. And then start again. And then we can always come back and smooth out the paint. Okay, so now just painting these edges here. All right, and you know what? Our mixture is looking really good. I don't think that we're gonna need a second coat on this. See what I mean? I said orange is always kind of funny. If you look, we've got a good coverage on this, I think. So we're gonna do a one and done on that. Yay, right? Okay. So one thing that I thought would be kind of fun is to do a thicker outline. So let me grab one of my thicker liner brushes. This is a 3 round. We're gonna get this in here and we're gonna just make some swirlies. On this one. Going a little bit more. A little more pink than what I wanted, but it's okay. There we go. We'll get this guy connected over here. And there we go. So we've got a cute little carrot right now. And then I was thinking we would do some polka dots. Now we can stick with the pumpkin, which I'm thinking might be really cute to just stay with that darker pumpkin. And if we want to, we can always add a little bit more of the darker bittersweet orange. So what I'm going to do now is we'll get the dauber tool. I'm going to get the really small one. So this is a 1/2 inch dauber. We're going to get the dauber nice and in there. We're going to swirl it around like so. We're going to off the plate and run it off the plate there. So now if you can see, we've got a nice good coverage, nothing of a big blob, okay? And then we're just going to push and lift up. So push down, twist just a little and lift up. And what we're kind of doing is we're gonna make like a little triangle pattern. So if you can see little triangles, so this one's gonna be a little bit off, so we'll wait on that to let the paint dry. This one here, we might get a little corner of one from here, right there. Oh, looks like we need a load again. There we go, right here. Let's see, right there. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, let's see if I can find my heart-shaped Post-it notes. Those ones are always the best, but they're probably not good. So we'll just use my normal Post-it note. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of make a curve with my scissors. So I just cut off a little edge of my Post-it note, and all that's going to do is help me with getting these edge ones. But we're gonna hurry real quick and blow dry or heat gun these dots so we don't mess up. Okay, because right here we need a polka dot. So what I'm going to do is just kind of use my little template that we got here. See, and that kind of gives us a little bit without messing up where we already did the detail lines. One more should probably go right in here. Let's see, about, I would say right here. And as you can see, it just makes it look a little bit better. I'm thinking one right here. So you can see that kind of gives it that fun little extra flair. And another thing that I do when I've got these small ones is sometimes it's hard for the sponge to get into those edges super good. So I'll just take my brush and kind of just clean up. I got a little bit too small of one. Let me go with the 3 round here. I'll just get this just a little bit and kind of smooth these out. Here, let's get the extra paint off of this guy. It's amazing how much you push in and you think there's hardly any paint left and you can get so much more out. Okay, so we'll get right here, kind of clean up that edge. So all I'm doing is just kind of touching up a little bit of where the dauber may have not gotten a full contact with. There might have been a little bit of a lighter spot. Now this is completely optional. You do not have to do this. This is just something I like to do to just add a little extra, make sure it looks nice and clean. I know at the retreat we were struggling a little bit with the daubers, so I wanted to kind of show you a little more of how you can fix those little dauber problems. And those that didn't go to the retreat, I believe I will be painting again for the next one. So there's another chance to paint with me. Yay! Okay, so we've got those. You can see there. I'm thinking, what do you guys think? Some gingham? Should we do a gingham on this side? I'm thinking that would be really, really cute. If I can find my tape. I say that, oh, there it is. I'm like, I say that, and then I'm like, where's my tape? Okay, so we're gonna use the frog tape. Lord, pray for me that, you know, we don't have a mess again. But I think we figured out the ways of the tape problem. Okay, so when we do gingham, we get the piece of tape, and I don't have a long sleeve on, so we'll just use the towel here. Hopefully you guys can see this. And what we're gonna do is just fuzz up the piece of tape a little bit. The reason why we're doing this is just so that it doesn't rip up our paint. Okay, that's feeling better. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, use this as our template. We're going to grab one more of these. grab this again. You guys, this is no special towel. It's gotten super old, and so I've now used it as, actually, I might use this one and use this one as our template one, because I'm really kind of liking where that piece of tape is. Okay, sorry. So with these, you guys, just like I said, we're gonna just fuzz up our piece of tape. The towel is nothing special. It's just a towel that has been lovingly worn out, and then I just used it as a scrap towel. Now, so we're gonna use this as our template. I'm just gonna line this up like so. We're gonna remove this one. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened there. Are we still all good? Am I still with you guys? It's staying on live, so I'm thinking we're okay. Okay. That was the weirdest thing. It said my OBS disconnected and then connected again, so we'll let it go, right? Okay. You know what? I made this piece long enough that we may be able to not have to do this again. Okay. Rip that. So we have this one right here. Just slowly remove this one. Like so. Line this one up. And there we go. Okay, we'll keep this one off to the side for now. So I'm just making sure the lines are good. Okay, let's get some pumpkin here. And I'm gonna grab a glove real quick. I just got my new nail stickers on, so I don't want to really ruin my nails if I don't have to. Okay, sorry. So, we'll grab a glove here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to grab a baby wipe. We're going to take the baby wipe, get a little bit of paint on here, and we're going to try and kind of work with our edges. One thing that's nice is we've used that same color, so it won't matter too much if we get a little off. Okay, so now we're just going to kind of almost wipe the paint a little bit more off here, like so. And it's okay if it's blotchy. We're kind of wanting that distressed look. Okay, let me take my glove off. I retired the old glove, you guys, for the move. I was like, you know, I think it's been well loved enough. We could probably get rid of it. So if you just wanted to do stripes, this is another really cute way to do stripes. Oops, shoot. That's what I was afraid of. Let's see if we pull this way. We can show you how to fix that though. No biggie. I'm kind of digging just the stripes. What do you guys think? Should we do the gingham and do a stripe down, or do you like the stripes? I'm kind of liking that stripe. Thinking that's really cute. Okay. So how we're going to fix this, we are just going to get the liner brush here, throw some paint down, and we'll cover it again. We'll make this thing look pretty. What do you guys think? Stripes, or should we do the gingham and do a stripe down? Well, let me know what y'all think. Come on, we're painting together, guys. And I do know that there's a little bit of a lag, so I'll wait for y'all. Okay, while we're waiting, I'll go ahead and get started. I think we're gonna do the electric lime, and then on this one we'll do the parsley on the lighter ones. Stripes, I'm thinking too, I really am digging these stripes. I think they're adorable. So if you wanted to do the gingham, like I had planned, but then, you know, decided not to, which is a-okay when we're painting, you would do the exact same method and you would add the painter tape straight down and then do the template, okay? But I think we're gonna stick with the stripes because I'm digging them. Okay, so let me get my little paint palette out here, since we're not mixing paint anymore. So the electric line we're gonna put right here. These little palettes, you guys know I get them from the dollar store, but those that are new, the dollar store, they come in like a little package of 6. Just soak them in some warm water and it cleans them right up for you. Very little scrubbing at all. Maybe let them sit for half an hour in your sink. That's all I do. Okay, so this one is a 3/8 angle brush. Ooh, we have a hair. Probably mine. All right, so same thing here. We're just going to make some nice little loops. Green is also one of those ones that you usually always with green will have to do a second coat. It can come out really blotchy that first time that you paint it. And then, like I said, this color is called Electric Lime. Okay, so we're just going to do the arch of this carrot here. Had to remember where to go to. Okay, so now we're going to just take the brush, we're going to load it with the edge of the brush and then just kind of flip our brush and then come right back. Okay, even though we stopped and there wasn't enough paint to get it all the way down, it's okay. It's going to help us just get that nice little template somewhat going for us. And then we can clean up. Edges I know are everybody's super concerned with, but they really, if you just take your time, go slow, remember to load that edge of your brush, you've got it under control, promise. Okay, we're going to smooth that out. Go like a wild child. You can paint all of this in. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit these edges real quick here. We're going to let the top of this dry. I will probably hit it with the heat gun just so that we can get this color done. I find it really hard, you guys, to find lighter oranges. You can find peach, but it's really hard to find that in between peach and orange color. So if you're like me, definitely going with that white and mixing your own is a really good thing to do. And then you can always store them in little containers. The dollar store has, I'm a fan of dollar store if you haven't noticed. The dollar store has little jars. Let me see. I know I put one of these little jars up here. Maybe I didn't. That has one of my other colors in it. Whoa! I am not used to having that table behind me. But the dollar store has these little jars that you can store your paint in. This one I use a lot. I've had a hard time finding just that barely there really light blue. So I've made my own color of blue for that. So that's a way to do it. Hey Sherry and Ginger, how are you? Okay. This paint is actually looking pretty dry. So I don't think we're gonna need the heat gun, but we'll just go over this one more time here. Guys, I was so excited. I know, love that dollar store. They get lots of my money, I'm not gonna lie. But that new house, we measured the studio out, so I'm super excited. It's coming right along. They're getting the electrical in and the plumbing in right now, so I'm super excited. I know it's going to probably slow down a little bit. We're praying that we get the windows and it won't slow down production, because windows are on back order and there's a big delay on them. So they said that they ordered them as soon as they could, so we're hoping, fingers crossed, that when it's time for windows we'll have them. Okay, so now I'm going with parsley. It's just a little bit of a lighter shade of green, if you guys can kind of see there. And all of these paints are from Delta Ceramcoat. That's my favorite brand of paint to use. Luckily, you guys, when I moved, I was so sad, because I usually always just get my paint from Joann's, but the Joann's here doesn't have a very good selection of paint, really of any paint. It was like one small little rack that looked like it had been eaten up by people. So I went to the Hobby Lobby and they carry my paint, and they had huge racks of the paint that I like. So the Delta Ceramcoat. The next favorite paint that I have is the Deco Art Americana paint. It's my second choice. So I was thinking I was going to have to convert over or start buying online, because Michael's does not carry it. Okay, so I'm going to just smooth that out. Same thing on this side, you guys. I'm loving the brightness. I'm loving how this is coming out. And I didn't even think stripes, and I'm loving how these stripes came out. I love how things go in your head and then you make changes, right? Okay, so I just used the edge to get right in here, and then we're pulling the brush. Now if you remember, I had some orange that came over here, and we wiped it up a little bit, but there was still some residue, and it's all hidden now. We didn't need to freak out about it because paint's gonna go right over it. No biggie. This will go up and touch again where the paint, or where the painter's tape, there we go, losing my head words, pulled the tape, or the paint up, so no worries about it. So now all I'm doing, I'm just gonna go over the edges real quick here. And if I was a cleaner painter, I would probably not paint the edges, because with the laser, it does make that burnt edge where it looks like it's almost painted, if you can see, but I don't have clean edge painting skills, so we just paint them. I think it makes it look a little bit more professional and everything else, so, but that's all on you, on what you want to do with your edges. I know lots of people don't paint their edges, and that is totally fine. You do you, is how I always say it. All right, I'm just getting this edge on the other stem, or I guess it wouldn't be stem, bush, whatever, of the carrot. Because really the carrot's the root, so carrots are definitely an interesting thing, but I sure like them. All right, almost done here. There we go. Okay, so this side is looking pretty dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and just go with it. And this color, you guys, is called Parsley. So just going with the edges here. Another nice thing to do too, if you can, when painting, is try and paint your second coat in one direction. It will also help with the spotting with the paint. If you're noticing you're having that problem, it really helps. Okay, next side over here. So just loaded the brush, going right around there, and there we go. I'm gonna go one more time around this leaf, and then we can paint and smooth outward. Okay, so we can see that there. I'm going to go back with that thicker line brush, or round brush. It's a round number 3. Right here. You guys can see that. Oh, there we go. No, there we go. So you can see that. That's round number 3. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to create some detail lines with this one. There we go. Look at this side. Same here. can hear so many people mowing their lawns. It sounds so nice. Spring is sprung here in North Carolina for sure. Sounds so weird to say. Been trying to get here for so long. Still kind of surreal sometimes. But it is feeling very good to be more settled. Okay, so we've got that going on with our carrot. I'm really digging that. I think it's super cute. Okay, so that was with the parsley. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use this really light green for the other two. And this one's called Palomino. I think that will be really fun for a fun contrast with it. Let me go ahead and grab this green. We'll save it, throw it back in the bottle here. Gotta save our paint. Okay. And this one, I'm actually just going to use the lid as my little paint jar. We'll still use the number 3 round, if I can find it. I've thrown too many brushes in here. Where did that one go? I put it in here, right? Where did it go? Oh, it's right here. Not in the jar. Silly me, right here. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to kind of create some leaves moving up into it. I think this one would be kind of fun to like have it squish out a little. And we'll go right here. Same right here. Kind of make that more round. There we go. And let's do one more cute one right here. All right. One more. So this side's just a little more wet, so I'm going to try and avoid over in this area for a minute. Let that dry a little more. If we need to, we'll use the heat gun. I tried to limit how many times I need to use the heat gun so I don't blow out your eardrums too much. All right. One more time here. Sometimes if you load your brush really heavy, you can allow for the little bit of wet paint. So I'm really liking that. Okay. Ooh, you guys, it's so cute. Let me just touch this one little spot up again where the tape pulled. Oops, too much water. All right. Okay, there we go. So I think it'd be really cute where the loops are to do the Mod Podge there. But let's go ahead before, Mod Podge and glitter. But before we do that, let's go ahead and add some detail lining, which I actually have some from when I was painting a little bit earlier. So we'll just use that. The detail brush that I'm going to be using is a 2/0 liner brush. Hey, Susan. So we're going to avoid up here because we painted up there. This should be pretty dry besides our little touch-up spot. As I say that, I run into paint here. There we go. All right, I think I'm going to add a little zigzag there. We'll do another little zigzag there, just to add some fun. All right. We're gonna go on this side here. Maybe add a little swishy there. And we'll get right there. All right. For the inside carrot, I'm not going to add any swishies because I think it will take away from the little curly Q things that we've done. I know all my technical words, right? All right. There we go. Now, if your black paint is seeming to be a little clumpy and hard to work with, I suggest always just putting a little bit of water with it. It helps glide your paint just a little bit more if you're struggling. This one I did have watered down, but it is drying up. I'm not going to worry about it too much just because there's such little amount. Sorry, you guys, Brian is getting ready to cook some dinner.
You can start if you want.
Oh, I'm not complaining. I'm just, you're banging pots and pans. Being in this rental, we've had to adjust a little bit. So I am actually in what would be considered the dining room. So it's made things a little interesting around here. I think I'm gonna go ahead with this and just add the details like this. Didn't know if I would, but I'm liking it more that way. Hey Brian, can you grab my phone real quick? Looks like Jacqueline's trying to get a hold of us. You're fine. Alright, so I'm just letting my detail brush kind of do the work for me. Touching, but not touching completely. Just barely letting the tip of the brush touch. It's right here. How's the house coming along? So we've got plumbing going in, electrical, and they did have the girls' showers done. They didn't have our shower done, but ours will mostly be tile. So it's just the pan, which I saw that the pan was delivered the other day. But that's as much as what I saw them do there. And then they were doing something on the roof, but I have no idea what they were doing. So I'm excited. I'm praying that the windows come in time. Looking good. Thanks, Mel. If the windows come in time, everything shouldn't go to a halt and we should be okay. But you know how construction and just supplies in general are right now. So we're just happy for what they're doing right now. So we'll keep it going, right? Okay, you guys, I am loving these carrots. Now the rental, we're working on it. It's kind of a little bit of a hot mess still, but we kind of figured it would be because, you know, we're thinking we're not going to be in it that very long, so why get completely unboxed? But it's funny, I've been like, oh shoot, couldn't find, so I used poster board to do my backdrop, and I could not find my poster board at all, so I had to go find it. But trying to remember where I bought it at was interesting. I went to like 3 different craft stores before I was like, oh yeah, I guess I did get it there. You don't think about it until you don't have it anymore. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just going around adding some simple little white highlights. This really makes your project pop and gives it a little, just a little more, I feel like. I'm going to just add a little bit to these little loopy loops that we got going on over here. I know, me and my technical terms. We're going to add glitter onto this a little bit, so I'm not being too crazy with it, but I thought it would be fun to add a little bit and also show you if you're a person that doesn't like glitter, like my husband over there. Oh, Ginger, you're so sweet. You could stop, you know, at this point and not really go further. So just a little bit of this white. But if you can see how just a little bit of this highlighting really does make your piece, I feel like, pop and stand out. It gives you that little bit extra that you're looking for, and you're just barely letting your brush touch. At some points, if it doesn't touch at all. All right. Oh, I'm in love. Okay, let's hurry and add the glitter. So this is more of like a neon glitter. It's neon orange to be exact, but I thought it looked better for like a pale orange. It does come across a little bit more pale on things. So what I'm going to do is get our Mod Podge here. I like the Mod Podge in the smaller bottles, just because it's a little bit easier to hold on to and control. And let me get one of my beat up brushes over here.
Stop.
So when you're working with Mod Podge, you do kind of have to hurry. Brian, if you have to, just let him into the garage.
Fire too. Stop.
Sorry guys, the dogs are barking like crazy. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to hurry and glitter real quick. just because when you're doing small little spots like this, the Mod Podge does dry a little bit faster. So you do kind of have to work in other little sections. Oh, to have my studio back, right? You guys are going to be entertained. Hopefully, you know, it's more July than August, but we'll have some entertaining moments, I'm sure. You got it, right? Oh, there's a cat that runs around the neighborhood that the dogs would love to have a piece of. Okay. There we go. I think it looks super cute. What do you guys think? Got some little glitter going on. And then the highlights are still showing through really well. Sorry, no. But I think it looks really good. Let me flip you guys the other way. Hey guys. You can tell the kids are hungry. Welcome to my crazy life. Here we go. So there you guys go. Thanks for hanging out with me and my hot mess. Oh, but, oh my gosh, these dogs. Cop life, I know, right, Susan? I'm so sorry, guys, but anywho, that's what's going on. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me. I'm always willing to help wherever I can. Oh, Mel, I love you. All right, you guys, I will talk to you all later. I believe, yes, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Lisa will be on with sublimation for tomorrow for you guys. So, thanks, Susan. You guys are all so sweet. Hey, guys. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Okay, guys and ladies and gents. I'll see you later. Bye.